You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
I got to say, I never really have been surfing. I think I've tried maybe once or twice. I was a boogie boarder. When I would go to Redondo Beach, I'd boogie board. It was me and the Ernst family. They were triplets. Mike, Steve, and Christina. Triplets. They were my best friends. I'd spend the night over at their house. We'd go to the beach. I think it was Hermosa Beach. I think we went. And that's how I learned how to boogie board when I was a kid. Loved it. Loved it. But never really surfed. But I knew then that California beaches, by and large, were not great. Then I saw this TripAdvisor list, which was recently published, of the best beaches in the United States. Now, I'm going to need your collective help. I'm going to give it away. There's some Hawaii beaches on here, and I cannot pronounce the frickin' names. So I will need your help, Mark Ronner. You're smarter than me.
I don't think I can help you on this, but I will enjoy watching you wrestle with these.
Oh, we're fighting, and I'm going to lose. All right. Coming in at number 10 of the best beaches in the United States. Oh, we have to turn on the computer. Hookipa?
What? Hooker, please?
Hookipa Beach Park.
I don't think so.
In Maui.
Hooker, please.
Here we go. Number 9. Bahia Honda State Park in Big Pine Key, Florida Keys, Florida. Haven't been there. I don't think I've ever been to a Florida beach. I've been to Florida, but I don't ever think I've been to a Florida beach. Oh, I take that back. Miami, yes. I've been to South Beach.
Do you think Florida beaches are as poopy as California beaches?
Don't know, because when I went to South Beach, I was just there for the clubs, the drinking, and the women. I was on the beach, but I wasn't trying to go in the water.
I was going to say, Mo probably never even got close to the beach.
There's
too much to do.
That's probably the best city as a single man that you can go to in this country. Miami, South Beach, it is, or I should say it was, absolute heaven. I had never seen so many gorgeous women in my life. And when you're on South Beach, you don't even know the language which is going to come out of her mouth. It could be Spanish. It could be French. She could be Haitian. It could be any number of, it could be Portuguese.
It's almost like when you go to Vegas and you're sitting at a table and you don't realize people can come from all over the world.
Yes.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
And this is like the early 2000s, late 90s. I'd never seen so many thong bikinis in my life. They don't have that out here in California, not in the California beaches, but South Beach, it's like you're in Europe or Central or South America. It's a completely different aesthetic when it comes to beachwear. You have guys out there in Speedos, probably still to this day, and you have the women out there in the thong bikinis. So if whatever you like, you can find it out there. I promise you. Number 8. Panalu, Black Sand Beach, Pahala, Island of Hawaii. And I'm apologizing in advance. I know I'm pronouncing these wrong. I'm not trying to, because I just can't do it correctly.
Some foreign words sound like words from other foreign languages. What was that name again?
Why are you trying to do this to me?
Well, just say the name.
It's Punalu. P-U-N-A-L-U.
Never mind. Hit the dump, Stephen.
Apostrophe U. Black Sand Beach.
Nobody's going to win here.
Coming in at number 7. Driftwood Beach on Jekyll Island, Golden Isle of Georgia. I wouldn't think of Georgia having a great beach.
No.
But, it came in at number 7 of the best beaches in the United States, according to TripAdvisor.
TripAdvisor's on the take.
Oh, look, this is just a big advertisement for TripAdvisor. Yeah. I get it. They publish the list. We talk about the list, and we say, where's that list from? It's TripAdvisor.com. Yes, it's a commercial. We got it. But it provides good content. Coming in at number 6 of the best beaches in the United States. Clearwater Beach. in Clearwater, Florida. And no, we're not giving you all the reasons why. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. It's TripAdvisor. What do they know? They don't know anything about travel. Coming in at number 5 of the best beaches in these United States. Waikiki Beach. I can pronounce that one. I got that one right.
Well done.
Waikiki. Yeah. Number 4 of the best beaches in the United States. And would you look at that? La Jolla Cove, California actually made the list. I'll read the paragraph under it. La Jolla Cove is a scenic beach where blue-green waters meet dramatic cliffs. It's a popular surfing spot and home to seals, sea lions, and tide pools. Take a stroll on the promenade or go kayaking or paddleboarding. Then catch the colorful sunset. I didn't think California had any blue-green waters.
It's blue-brown.
That's what I'm thinking. With all the poop alerts that we've been having for the past year or so, I can't imagine any California beach being blue-green. But we made the list. Number 3 on the best beaches in the United States, according to TripAdvisor.com. There's your commercial. Ka'anapali, K-A'-A-N-A-P-A-L-I Beach. Ka'anapali Beach.
Sounds like you're speaking Klingon.
Mahalo.
Okay.
And it's Lahaina, Maui, in Hawaii. And the only reason I unfortunately know Lahaina is the fire that was there. That's the only reason I know. I've never been to Hawaii. Have you been to Hawaii?
No. My grandmother was going to send me there for my honeymoon, and I decided never to get married.
So that didn't happen then.
No.
Yeah, I haven't been. I've been a lot of places, but I've never been to Hawaii, and I hear wonderful things about it. Just haven't gotten there yet, unfortunately.
Well, like all the actors who work there wind up living there, like Jack Lord. They love it.
Yeah, but they obviously got in early because it's insanely expensive from what I understand.
Well, they had shows. They could afford it.
That's true. I have a show, just not that type of show.
Not a TV show yet.
Oh, okay. Coming in at number 2, the best beaches in the United States, according to TripAdvisor.com. Is it Poipu? Poipu. P-O-I-P-U Beach Park in Kauai, Hawaii.
How do you spell it though?
P-O-I-P-U.
Yeah, I think it's Poipu. Yeah. I'm trying to say how they do that.
I can't.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Hey, I'm already apologizing. I'm not trying to mess up the names. I'm just saying I am fundamentally disadvantaged and I cannot pronounce the names. Here's number 1. The best beach in the United States according to TripAdvisor. Any guesses? Cabrillo? Dockweiler? Redondo? Newport? Huntington?
Ooh, Newport. That would be my guess.
You'd actually guess a California beach? I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
All right.
Maybe another Hawaii beach? Maybe another Georgia beach? Ooh, what about New Jersey Beach or New York?
Talk about blue-brown.
Number 1. The number 1 beach in the United States, according to TripAdvisor.com, comes to us by way of Florida, Siesta Beach. Whether you want to relax or fill your day with activities, Siesta Beach delivers. Kick back on the white sand, go swimming in the clear water, or simply admire the sunset. It's up to you. It's easy to get to via public transportation, offers wheelchair access, and has plenty of shops and restaurants nearby. The number 1 beach in the United States, according to TripAdvisor, Siesta Beach.
I think you're more the Poipu type.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very much. Yeah. I thought it was more like a Puana Nana Puda. What was that? Puna?
What?
Puda?
I don't think you can even say part of that
Be
name
careful.
on the air. Yeah.
It's not one of the words that's blocked that we can't say. It's slang. It's slang for vajayjay. It's slang for a secret garden.
Look at the time.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And you may not know the name of Tyler Hilliard, but back when he was 20 years old, he was about a week away from starting his junior year at UC Riverside. And he went to a fraternity event with his pledge brothers. He was pledging the fraternity of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. And if you don't know, it's the oldest historically black fraternity in the United States. It was formed in 1906. So we're talking about a fraternity with a lot of history. But back to Hilliard. He was pledging to become a brother of Alpha Phi Alpha. And according to published reports in the Los Angeles Times, Hilliard was allegedly forced to eat an entire onion covered in hot sauce, drink extreme amounts of water, and be spanked with part of a cactus. That same day, he was rushed to the hospital. His heart stopped 7 times that night, his family said, and he was ultimately pronounced dead. I can't tell you specifically what led to his heart stoppage or whether he had a existing heart issue. I'm just telling you what was reported in both the LA Times and KTLA.com. This was years ago, September of 2018. And since that time, there is now a new California law named after Tyler Hilliard. And the way the law is being presented is supposed to make the college experience safer and more clearly delineate what is acceptable, legal, and illegal when it comes to pledging a fraternity. Tyler's law, which is AB 2193, was passed last September, and it's an expansion of the state's hazing laws. And let me start right there. I already knew that there were anti-hazing laws already on the books. So my question was, how does this really expand what was already there? Well, here you go. Starting in 2026, universities in California will be able to be sued by hazing victims if the college knew about or should have known about hazing incidents and failed to stop them. And this is assuming, and this is something I kind of know something about. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, which was formed in 1911 and is also a historically black fraternal organization. And there are fraternal organizations, and they have chapters all around the country at various campuses, but some of the chapters are not actually connected with the university. That's why there's this gray area. Like, for example, at Georgetown University, where I went to school, there were city chapters, and they could take members from different schools around the city, but they didn't have actual recognition on the campus because Georgetown, as a Jesuit university, did not formally recognize fraternal or sororital organizations. So this is the gray area. I think the law doesn't quite understand that people could be pledging these organizations, and these organizations may not even have actual standing on the campus and may not be recognized by the campus. Like, I went to Georgetown, which was a Jesuit institution. I was saying it could be a school like Loyola Marymount as well. This is which is, I think, what the law misses, but I think it's well intentioned. The law also requires hazing incidents to be compiled into an annual report, along with disclosures as to whether those incidents were tied to student organizations. What has happened historically is a lot of this has gone underground, where it's not in view. The school's not going to know about it. You're not going to have faculty necessarily who is going to know about it. This is something which is not going to be in just public view. But in the more recent years, universities and the organizations themselves have created these policies and laws to guard themselves against being sued, not necessarily protect the individuals involved. That's why I think the law, it might be well-intentioned, but doesn't get to actually protecting anyone. They want to bill it as making college safer. No, it's just limiting the liability, or I should say, making universities be more afraid of being sued. That doesn't necessarily mean that the experience or the pledging experience is going to be safer. This has been going on for more than 100 years, and it has not slowed down. Don't ask me how I know. I just know.
Were you hazed or involved in any of that stuff in college?
Hazing is illegal.
Yes.
And Omega Psi Phi fraternity is a non-hazing organization.
I see. Well, asked and answered then. Okay.
That's how it feels when we talk about Mark.
Right.
So now you know how it feels.
Well, no, I never joined a frat in college. I had two very close friends at the time who did, and they de-pledged because they wouldn't have any part of that stuff. And they told me some of the stuff that went on, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. How could you submit yourself to that?
It's a very deep conversation, and if we got into the specifics of different organizations and what they do and why, it's different. The historically black organizations, there's a level of seriousness to it, and there's an expectation that you'll be a member, an active member for life. Like, I'm still active in my fraternity. It's for life. My father, when he passed, had just received his 60-year pin. Because
he was in it too?
Yeah, he was a member of a brother of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. He pledged at what was called Alpha Chapter. That's Howard University, the very first chapter, the organization, which was formed in 1911. And he had pledged in the fall of 58. And he had been active ever since 1958. And I'll be active to the day I die. So there's a different approach in a lot of these organizations. And I can't necessarily speak to what every organization does, but it's something that has gone on varying levels, and it will continue to go on. If you can look through the news of previous incidents in which people pledging these organizations have unfortunately ended up in the hospital and even died. I'm not here to say what is right or what is wrong, because each scenario is very, very different. Sometimes you have rogue individuals doing things not even connected to the chapter or the umbrella organization, and the school didn't know. These are just individuals doing their own thing, and you hear about it a lot across different universities. And there are some times when the school does know. But the only unifying thread that I can see in all this is just about covering people's asses. This is about the university saying, well, we didn't know, so they can avoid getting sued. Well, the parent organization saying, well, we didn't know, so they can avoid getting sued.
It's kind of like when we talked about it a while ago when Uber tried to introduce Uber for kids. It was to reduce the liability.
Bingo.
Right there. I totally
Bingo.
get it. Yeah. Still going to happen.
Right.
But now they can't be touched.
Yeah.
Well, let's just split the difference. I think Uber drivers should be hazed.
KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And when we come back, we'll give you an update, at least after day one, of what has been happening with the cell phone ban in LAUSD. It's a very small sample, but we'll see what it tells us.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Back on Monday, we gave you a brief preview of what LAUSD was going to do relative to their cell phone ban. And that cell phone ban was going to be enacted across some 800 schools. And I wondered out loud, and Tuala wondered out loud, how is this actually going to work? How are you going to have a uniform policy across 800 schools? Here's the answer. You're not. And so you had schools with varying levels of, I don't want to say seriousness, but commitment to this cell phone ban. There's no way to know that the schools over here were doing it one way and the schools over there were doing it another way, and either of those choices were effective. But when we're told today that no major hitches on day one, as in yesterday, of the cell phone ban, I don't know what that even means. I mean, no one called to complain that they couldn't get in touch with their child. No one tried to throw their phone or get their phone before it was allowed for them to do so. I mean, what does no major hitches actually mean? The true test of whether this works is when there is going to be a belligerent student or there's going to be an emergency which necessitates parents getting in touch with their kids. That's the major hiccup that we're going to experience at some point.
Yeah, so far so good. Is a very, very loose interpretation of what's happening. I think that there were no issues at my daughter's school. She did not, see any fights or anyone get into it with any teachers like that. But it doesn't mean that look, this is Wednesday, the day after the ban. Talk to me on Friday.
Right. When people are eager to stay in touch with folks and find out what they're going to do later on.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it's all going to fall apart. It doesn't mean that there aren't some justifiable bumps along the way. Yes, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just think we're not being really honest about what a cell phone ban means and whether there's actually going to be strict adherence or not. I do think that the phones have been too accessible and they've been too disruptive in a learning environment. No doubt, no question. But I honestly believe that the parents' desire and need to get in touch with their children that's actually of a greater importance to me for the intermittent interruptions that happen. You can take away their phones and they're still going to be passing notes. They're still going to be talking to class. You're going to have those disruptions, but this only works as much as the parents want it to work. And joining us a little bit early is Tiffany Hobbs. She's here for the viral load, but Tiffany knows this as a teacher and actually deals with this on an everyday basis. Tiffany Hobbs, how old are the students that you're dealing with?
I have 13 through 15-year-olds. Core audience right there, target market for cell phone use.
And every single one has a phone. I don't even need to ask.
Practically, yes. And my issue is the fact that there are some schools that are on the honor system, admittedly so. And
so no hiccups there's honor system.
Exactly. And then there are other schools that are emphatically enforcing this with those magnetic pouches. So you're creating already a discord between schools in the district where some are able to hold on to their phones and just keep them away. Just don't let us see them. That's our school. And then there are others that are saying, we demand that you turn your phones in, and you're going to have parents who will point at those schools for whatever their reason is, whatever their platform is, to say, well, look, that school's doing that. How come our school isn't doing this? And it's just a matter of time.
I'm sorry. I'm just counting the days until the first school gets sued for whatever reason. And as soon as that happens, then we'll really know how committed they are to this ban.
My daughter just hit me up and she said that it was harder on everyone because everyone's so used to having access to their phones. So not being able to get on them caused a lot of distractions. People just constantly fidgeting and looking around. So that was harder because they weren't used to that. And she said that in certain classes where they are allowed to use their phones to do things that their devices, the iPads, cannot do to help them with their work, that was also a hindrance throughout the day. Like everyone in school isn't just on their phones texting. Some of them are trying to access systems and programs that their silly iPads can't.
Okay. But more importantly to all, was your daughter listening to the show and decided to respond? Is that what you're telling me?
No. No, I asked her because I knew the segment was coming up, and I said, hey, quick question: what was yesterday like for you? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just got her response.
Okay, well, I can always hope against hope, and I don't like that your daughter is looking me in the eye now. She's like as tall as I am.
Yeah, that was funny.
No, it wasn't.
It's out there. That was like,
no, it wasn't.
Hey, man, like, what's up with you?
She needs to stop growing so fast. But I think the rubber will meet the proverbial road the moment when it's really inconvenient for parents. Right now, it's just inconvenient for students. Teachers are probably fine with it. But the moment that there's an incident on a campus and parents cannot get immediately in touch with their children, all this is going away. I'll be willing to bet. It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. We have information on a new, and I would say debut, of a Pixar streaming series. Not a movie, but a Pixar series which dropped today on Disney+. We'll have that for you next.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
When you think of Pixar, pretty much Toy Story is probably pretty close to what you think of when it comes to Pixar. Pixar has some of the best movies in the world. Now, Mark Runner probably won't agree because he probably thinks that they're just for kids. And anyone who's seen a Pixar movie knows that there's plenty for adults in those movies. But Pixar had seemingly owned the space when it come to movies for a certain segment. They had never done a television show. They had never done an animated series for streaming. Well, all that changed today with the debut of the new series, Win or Lose. And it goes a little something like this. There are 8 interconnected stories with people at various points in their life dealing with winning and losing. It could be winning or losing within the context of asking someone out to date. There's stakes. You have a positive outcome or a negative outcome. Or it could be you're a child playing in your first baseball or softball game, winning and losing, dealing with those moments of life. And here is the trailer.
Here you go, Frank. Your single soy latte. Extra hot.
Wow. Thanks, Lena.
See you tomorrow, hopefully.
Do you want to have coffee with...
Man,
you probably don't want to.
Blah.
Yeah, I gotta go
I was trying to
anyway.
get you a coffee.
Got my coffee.
Oh, God, I can't believe this happened again.
Hot.
Nobody laugh at Frank and stare at Frank. He's like a younger brother to me, you guys.
We made it to the state championship.
Girl, why are you so sweaty?
You got this! Okay? Yeah, all right! Yeah! Let's go! This is good, because it's high stakes, and that's the kind we like.
You're out! Hey, you'll get him next time, kiddo.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Lori, you're famous.
I know how to handle this. Laugh really hard.
You're not funny. You're not funny.
What did I just do? Everyone is chasing the feeling of a win.
Everyone makes it look so easy. I feel like I'm barely hanging on.
But if someone wins, we'll make it work. We always do.
We always do.
Somebody has to lose.
This is the big one. No matter what happens, you are all winners.
Is this happening?
Tonight is our moment for redemption.
Better not blow it.
So it's real simple. The concept is simple. Life is a series of wins and losses and dealing with both. And it doesn't matter how old you are, you're still going after the win and dealing with the loss that stings. So I'll check it out tonight.
That's why I slightly disagree with your initial statement that Pixar makes movies, or even the idea that Pixar makes movies for kids. They actually don't. Pixar makes movies for adults that they can take their kids to go and see along with them. But the stories, every one of these stories that we've seen from Pixar has been an adult story at its heart, whether it's about us dealing with past grief, whether it's us dealing with loss, with trying to finally make it over that hump. Every Pixar story has made every adult I know cry. Why? Because it all takes us back to that point in our childhood where we did not do that one thing. We're missing that one thing, yearning for that one thing, and we're dealing with it in the moment when it happens. In these stories, tell me someone who has seen a Pixar movie that hasn't cried. I'll show you someone who has no heart.
Mark Ronner.
Oh, high and tight over there. That's right. High and tight over there.
Go ahead, pile it on. I've seen some of the Pixar movies. They're
And you never cried, did you?
not at those. No.
See?
Sergeant Heartless, like I said.
Yeah, I just about cried when I got my hair cut yesterday, but not from Pixar. No.
Well, look.
He never saw Up. Right.
Look, you beat me to it.
Yeah.
If you can get through the first 10 minutes of Up and not crying,
Not even that, 5 minutes.
the opening montage,
It is incredible.
especially if no one tells you what is happening, you're just going to say, let's watch this movie Up.
Is that the one with the old man with the house with the balloons?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm not watching that. I saw Soul, and I thought that was pretty good, but it didn't make me cry.
Yeah, because you're not watching the right ones.
That's not going to make you cry. That's more thoughtful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about analyzing your life and importance and what you find important. It's more philosophical. Up is about loss, grief.
Yeah, like I need more of that. No, pass, hard
Aging,
pass.
Yes.
all of those things.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I got enough of that in real life. I don't need a cartoon with that. I did notice that there's the one about the cat that's on one of the sites now on Prime or Netflix or something. It has no dialogue. It's just about a kitty.
It's not Pixar.
Well, I like kitties is the point.
Probably Disney.
Okay.
Is it?
No, it's on Amazon Prime. No, it's not.
No.
It's not Disney or Pixar. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's Prime. So you're just over there watching.
You're just watching off-brand stuff.
Yeah,
Is it? I thought it was a Pixar thing.
It's like,
not on Prime.
it's like the Louis Vuitton with the extra T. You ever go down to the alley in downtown LA and you get the Adidas, but it's more like Adidas because it's like 4 stripes.
No, but I was forced to wear Lee jeans because my folks were too cheap to buy me Levi's, so I know what you're talking about.
I always wanted some tough skin jeans back in the day.
Too fancy, way too fancy.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of family you came from.
No, my parents said they couldn't afford tough skins. Even though it was like tough skins, I think was the J.C. Penney house
I was
brand.
going to say that.
It's like they just didn't want to buy me anything. My
Yeah.
parents were like that. They were both teachers. And real quick story. So my parents decided to get the payment plan as teachers where they get all the money during the school year, not during the summer. So they would play broke all through the summer. It's like, we didn't get paid for like 3 months. So I never got back to school clothes. I was really basic middle class. Never got back to school clothes. But whenever I was going back to elementary school, all my friends, they would have the new tough skin jeans with the patches on. I was like, God, it was so cool. And the corduroy pants and the Lee jeans. And I had some, I don't know, I had like Pro Kids shoes, off brand BS. Whatever they had, like Pick and Save, Payless, Kmart brand shoes.
Oh yeah, you would have been one of the fancy kids in my school. I had nothing. We had Lincoln Logs for toys, and in the winter, snowballs.
I had Lincoln Logs and a
Okay.
Rector set.
We had nothing. We were sent to bed with a whipping, and we were grateful for it.
And you walked to school uphill in the snow. Both ways.
Yes, that's right. Both ways.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
Phone, car radio, smart toaster. We don't care how you listen, just that you do.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live.